Hello and welcome to the channel where I provide daily content, diving into sports and culture. In today's video I look to answer a question that has stumped cricket selectors forever. Just how much is a specialist wicketkeeper worth? The common dilemma selectors are faced with is to either play someone who is an excellent keeper but an average batsman or vice versa. Who do you go with? The batting keeper or the keeping batsman? Strap in for a bit of a stat fest where I come to a figure of how much a good wicketkeeper is worth. Firstly, I had to take a walk down memory lane to put some numbers behind the ideas of what is a good keeper and what is a bad one. I could not find any records of dropped catches or missed stumpings, so I had to look positively and examine their successful events. Specifically, how many catches and stumpings did they average in a match? What I had to also consider is the fact that some players only keep wicket occasionally. So it would be wrong to take their averages assuming they were keeping every game. This ruled out keepers such as Alex Stewart and Johnny Bairstow. For my research I had to use English cricketers, as put simply my knowledge and memory is better with them. I did include some figures for a couple of the greats from elsewhere in the world at the end of the video which are interesting in their own right. So who could I use as my English subjects? I had to be sure that they had kept wicket in every game, so I went for in tests, Jos Buttler, Ben Foakes, Jack Russell and Matt Pryor. I also included James Foster's figures from first-class matches, as first no, he always kept wicket, and thinking logically, catches and stumpings are the same difficulty in tests and first-class games. Foster was also known as one of the best keepers in the world during his playing days. So what are the stats? Starting with James Foster, in first-class matches he averages 2.9 catches a game and 0.214 stumpings. Now on to Jos Buttler, who in tests averages 2.68 catches a game and 0.017 stumpings. Ben Foakes in tests averages 2.85 catches a game and 0.3 stumpings. Next, Jack Russell averages in tests 2.83 catches a game and 0.22 stumpings. Finally, Matt Pryor averages in tests 3.1 catches a game and 0.16 stumpings. Those stats make for quite interesting reading, as it seems around 3 catches and 0.25 stumpings a game is at the better end for English keepers. Next I had to work out what those differences actually meant by establishing what the average wicket is worth in tests. From what I could find, the average first innings score in tests is 324, thank you Google. I can't find anywhere a figure for the average number of extras in an innings, but after reviewing 5 random tests, so 20 or so innings, it appeared to be around 15. So for the fall of those first 10 wickets you are looking at an average of 31 per wicket. If we look at a current option for the England side, you could play either Jos Buttler or Ben Foakes. The general consensus is that Foakes is a better keeper and Buttler is the better batsman. This is highlighted with Foakes averaging 0.27 catches and 0.28 stumpings more than Jos Buttler per test match. So if the average wicket is worth 31 runs, the amount of extra catches Foakes takes is worth 8.4 runs per test match and stumpings is worth 8.7 runs per test match. So 17.1 runs over the course of a game. If you divide that by 2 to account for both innings, Jos Buttler would have to average 8.55 runs more per batting innings to make up for it. Then you have got buys to consider. I cannot find any records online comparing keeper to keeper for buys, so I am not going to include them. What I will say is that ESPN seem to estimate that a good keeper concedes 5 buys over the course of a test match, and average keeper concedes around 7. So you could widen that gap between Foakes and Buttler further. There is no hiding from the fact that my findings are not an exact science, but I think it is as close as we can get. That figure of 8.55 more runs per innings is as accurate as I can get with the stats available. So how do Foakes and Buttler match up on current statistics? Foakes' batting average is 32.2 in tests, so Buttler would have to average 40.7 to make up for the keeping shortfall. As it stands, however, after a poor run of form in the longer format, Buttler only averages 31.9. So if it were between just them, it would be a no-brainer to play Foakes. Obviously it is a different story in limited overs cricket. But the England selectors will probably just give the gloves to Bairstow anyway, so my time has been well and truly wasted. If you have come this far, however, you may want some further comparisons with some of the great keeper batsmen of all time. How does Adam Gilchrist sound? Gilly's catch per game average is a staggering 3.9 and his stumping average is 0.39. If you add that to his batting average of 47.6, I think you can actually make an argument that he is the best overall player to ever play the game. What about Dhoni? The Indian great's catching average is 2.84 per test and his stumping average is an excellent 0.42. Both of those players may well have benefited by playing with more or better spinners to help with the stumping averages, it is worth noting. But I think it is safe to say that both Gilchrist and Dhoni would walk into any English team in history. Thanks for watching.